What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Greataxe Gaming. I am Jackson. We are back with Hiveswap's Friendsim. Alright, we're doing this again. I recorded this once already, but apparently it wasn't capturing the video. I caught it before I got past my intro, but yeah. Anyways, we have reached the last, what, 2 episodes of Hiveswap Friendsim, I think? Not much left to go. We're almost there. We're almost done. There's like 2 more characters. So, with that being said, we're going to dive into this and have some fun. But before we do, I wanted to address all of you, but specifically those of you that came from the beginning of the Friendsim videos, because there's a lot of you. There's a lot of you that have, like, just started watching my channel because of the Friendsim videos, which is, hey, I don't blame you. I just appreciate you guys being here. But since Friendsim is almost over, I would like to see if there's any way you guys want to stick around. Specifically, what do you want me to play? Comments, messages, tweets, any of that really, to sending those to me, telling me like what kind of game you want to play or what specifically you want to play. Either one. Just let me know what you want to see. I try to take suggestions from my viewers as much as possible. And as always, if you buy me a game on Steam or gift it to me, I have to play at least 1 episode of it, no matter how bad it is. And we learned that when I played Let the Cat In, because woof. Or not Let the Cat In, but whatever the hell that game was, that horrible, horrible game that my friend still laughs about sending me. Anyways, that's it for the whole shill. Let's go ahead and go. 16, 17, 18. Click. You crash landed onto a planet called Alternia. You staggered from the wreckage of your ship. You were desperate for information, for provisions, and possibly a bit of medical attention. But most of all, you were desperate for friendship, is what you would say if you were written by a bunch of hacks who cared about the Aristotelian idea of narrative unity. Possibly you could make some reference to a circle being complete in a thoughtless and imbecilic manner. The cycle of stupidity is complete. But we're all in this together, right? And we've all learned and grown enough to know that there's something deep and dark and absurd brewing beneath the surface. This really isn't about friendship anymore, is it? You've got enough friends, now you need answers. You need... Oh, god damn it. This was just the intro screen. Okay, I can appreciate that little bit of meta. And with that, we're going to dive into Lanque, who... I don't know. There's something about this that's just gonna... Also, they're fucking adorable. But there's something about him that's... I don't know what it is. It's just... Well, twinkle, twinkle! What's next on the docket? Oh, you're really feeling like completely going off the rails. So it's a good thing the first person to ping you on your palm husk is Lanque. That nutty bitch is exactly the sort of destabilizing influence your life needs right now. Hello, my friend! Because that's who we are now. Friends! Cool, that's not weird at all. That's not a weird way at all. Weird at all way to talk to someone. You're really loving this one. You're not sure what it is, but you're positive whatever crackpot caper this loopy troll is about to rope you into is going to be a real humdinger. There's a sense of finality in the air. You can taste it. Lanque does you the courtesy of listening to you say all that shit without getting super off-put by how much of a freak you are. Listen up! So, I was thinking, since us becoming friends has worked out so well, I'm starting to think maybe it'd be a good idea to give making more friends another shot after all, I guess. That's what I was thinking. So there's this party I was invited to. You see, the fellow Jades in my cloister always sneak out to go to these things. You gently suggest to Lanque that she should hurry it the fuck up. Okay, so I'm nervous to go and I want a friend to come with me, okay? Is that so crazy? No, you don't think that's crazy at all. You think that sounds fantastic, actually. You don't ask for any details because who gives a shit? It's the same fucking party! It's the same fucking party! You show up on the block. We're not going to talk about how you got there or whatever because what a waste of time. You're just there. And Lanque met up with you too. Lanque mentioned that there might be dancing, so you really decided to dress up for the occasion. Oh man, you went fucking nuts. You're wearing a cape and shit, but also like fishnets, maybe a sexy bra if that's your thing. Whatever you happen to drudge out of some dumpster or another. Honestly, you can imagine whatever you want to look here, but you know it's complete bullshit and you look like a total slut. Lanque isn't wearing anything special because we would have had to pay someone to redraw all her sprites. Okay, come on guys. Like, there's meta, and then there's we've given up all pretense. What the fuck? From the look of it, you're headed over to somebody's hive party. You're rolling up on some kind of joint that, from the past experience, you can surmise is an alien domicile. It's pretty big, maybe it belongs to someone on the blue end of the spectrum. Back here again. Is this the block just where all the jade-blooded schoolgirls love to get down and dirty? It hits you like a bucket of ice when you realize whose hive you're walking straight towards this time. This is Ardada's hive. Oh, that's just great! Your friend Ardada. Boy, do you love Ardada. Can't wait to see her again. As you approach, you can immediately tell what kind of deal they have going on here. You can hear the tunes bumping from all the way down the block, and when you get near, you can see there's obviously a bunch of teens passed out drunk on the lawn. This is a full-blown frat house rager. Definitely doesn't seem like Lanque's kind of scene. That's because it isn't. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. You kind of can't either. You're not even the front door, and you can already feel the sweat pouring out of your armpits. This is going to be so much fun. You pass all the smashed lawn teens and go up on the knock on the Go up to the knock on the front door. You have to rap on it a few times until the telltale sound of clicking heels reaches your ears. The door opens, and you discover that the gracious hostess standing on the other side is none other than your best friend, Ardata. Woohoo! She looks surprised to see you for only a moment before her face resolves into a wicked grin. My. Look what the Purbeast dragged in. Back for more so soon, my sweet. You're not actually sure how much time has passed since you last went into Ardata, but it doesn't feel like it can be described in any metric by soon. You've been physically savaged so many times since then, you're not sure what you're blocking out, though. You tell Ardata that you're really glad to see her, because you totally are. You totally weren't expecting her to be hosting the party, though. Oh, I don't know if I'd call it a party. More of a friendly kickback of sorts. Sort of exclusive, really. All of the world's finest influencers are here. How exactly did you hear about my little shindig? Well, I certainly consider you to be one of my finest friends. I don't recall inviting you. You gesture vaguely to Lanque. She doesn't seem to know how to lie and immediately cracks under the pressure. One of the other J's from my cloister told me to come. His name was Lanque, but I don't think I was invited either. I get the impression we always kind of come out here. Basically, we're crashing, if that's okay? Well, of course. What's an informal soiree without a few entirely uninvited interlopers? Lanque doesn't seem to know if she's being sarcastic or not, and you aren't sure if she is either, to be honest. You're like, are you fucking with us? And she's like, ho ho ho, mo ha ha ha, or whatever. Of course not. I just have one question for you, my dears.
Last time somebody approached me like that, it was fucking blue. It was a horror game, and I did not appreciate it.
Ardata beckons you near. You obey her slavishly. Then she leans in close to your ear and intones, "Are you serious here? Are you serious here? Do you hereby certify under penalty of law that you are of age to view adult content within your state of legal residence, have acknowledged the contents of this volume's accompanying mature content description, and are comfortable with the prospect of engaging with challenging or otherwise controversial fictional material?" Okay, so I'm gonna have to put a content warning on this video if it gets as bad as this suggests, which would be really weird for this game. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go with this answer. It's probably the first bad ending, huh? Oh man, the sound of that is making you quake in your slutty little boots. Controversial fictional material, you say? Damn it. What? It's almost just starting to sound like a woman wrote this? What? What? Is that sexist? I don't... Ardata clicks her tongue. She reaches for the cup of markers she keeps on the table next to the door and pulls one out. You'll flinch back as she wheels like it as a weapon to draw a big blue X on the back of your hand. Here. Now all my fine guests will know we've a delicate little angel on our hands. And then she turns to Lanque. And what about you, my sweet thing? Huh? Oh, I'm not real, so it's cool. What the fuck?! Y'all! Very well then. Welcome to the bash. Drinks are free, but if you die of poisoning, you're contractually obligated to croak in range of one of my cameras. Toodaloo. Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. I just realized what this is giving me the vibe of, like straight off 100%. Just realized what this is, complete with the content warning. This really reminds me of some of the older school Vampire the Masquerade LARPs. Like, you know, the ones where you had to be a consenting adult to go and there was a shit ton of drinking and some of the behavior got real fucking questionable. Like, yeah, that's what it gives me the vibe of, like, seriously. I mean, think about it. My character's wearing a cape. Ardata was wearing a cape. That's what I'm getting the vibe of. Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. You and Lanque step past the threshold and have a look around. Lanque is visibly nervous, which is unfortunately a little bit infectious. You ask her where her friend is. She glances around a bit. Oh, I don't know. He's... Oh, over there! You follow her gaze into the living area of the house. It's a far cry from the site outside. The music's not nearly so bumping as you originally thought it was. The whole shebang seems to have a pretty chill teenagers drinking Kool-Aid vibe, apart from the fact that it's definitely not Kool-Aid. Everyone's milling about, chatting amiably. You spot a few familiar faces. Demon, flirting with roasting his Frank in the hearth. Elward, I guess there. Lean casually gets the door frame to the kitchen and talking to a cute girl. Skilla, boom, recounting some enrapturing rodeo caper to a gathered group of trolls. It's a really diverse roster of friendly folks. You spot who Lanera is pointing to at the center of the parlor's arrangement of couches and armchairs, sat among a group of friends on the floor, the only other Jade Blood in the room. He's even more impeccably dressed and done up than the rest of the markedly fashion-forward Jades you've met. When he catches sight of Lanera, his face lights up and he rises to make his way over to greet you. Okay. I did not expect the flower crown. Something tells me something changed when I disagreed to... It did, didn't it? When I disagreed with the mature content warning, they straight up changed the plot. Like, the party changed, the story changed, the behavior of the characters changed, the people attending... Like, I mean, I know that's how video games work, but like, in all the other narratives, when you made a choice, the plot continued with the same exact thread, reacting how you would have if you made the choice. With this, the music was changed, the behavior was changed. It's... Oh, Lanera, you made it after all. I was starting to think you weren't going to come. Haha, well, surprise! I didn't. Not come, I mean. I did come. Hi, I'm here. Lol. You cringe, but Lanque seems otherwise unaffected by Lanera's astonishingly embarrassing display. He turns to you with a warm smile. And who's this? You can't help but get a little flustered when your eyes meet. He looks like a fucking deer. Sorry, not my thing, really. His makeup and stylings might lean to the severe and feminine, but he has a contrastively calming and masculine voice that puts you at ease straight away. He seems to have quite the opposite effect of Lanera. Before you can answer yourself, she starts blabbing a mile a minute. Oh, this is my friend. I invited them because they're an alien, and I guess I almost murdered them because I was jealous of their friendship with Bronia, but I didn't, and then we're friends now, and I'm starting to work past my self-destructive obsession with her, and they agreed to come with me because I'm socially anxious and afraid of you. Awfully nice of them. Hold on, sorry. I know there was a lot at once. Let me reorganize that statement to a clearly digestible list of bullet points. You have absolutely no need to do that, Lanera. I've understood your points just fine. Oh, okay. Lanque looks back at you. Thank you for helping Lanera feel more comfortable here. Why don't you come and sit with us? Lanque turns and gestures to the other trolls he was speaking with before. A teal-blooded boy and an indigo-blooded girl, neither of who you recognize. They both have notebooks in their laps. They give you a friendly wave. Okay, sounds great. What are we doing? We were just in the middle of a poetry reading. Fuck! This is the problem with having two Jade Bloods. Like, I'm reading the text and I have to actually check the names. I don't know if you've prepared anything of your own to share, but you might find it relaxing to just listen. Poetry? Lanera's face has gone bright green. Oh boy. Why would you think I've written any poetry? I don't, really. It was merely a suggestion. Have you? Well, maybe. Wait, no! You put a comforting hand on Lanera's shoulder, intuiting immediately that she has indeed written plenty of poetry, but is embarrassed by the prospect of sharing any of it. You remind her she's among trusted friends here, and has nothing to fear. Oh, I guess you're right. Well then, please come and join us. Lanque leads you back to his group, inviting you to sit down with them in the circle. Lanera goes to deliberate lengths to insert you between herself and Lanque so you're the one sitting next to him. Why don't we pick up back where we left off? I was just about to read my latest piece. You say that sounds great. Lanque's two friends close their eyes and take each other's hands. You and Lanera are both pleasantly surprised when Lanque and the Indigo Blood sitting next to Lanera try to take yours to close the circle. At your obviously shocked expression, Lanque explains, We find physical contact helps us feel closer on a spiritual level during our poetry sessions, but if you aren't comfortable with it, you're under no obligation. This is giving me a real culty vibe! You feel really respected right now, so you and Lanera both assent to join the circle. She even takes the initiative to hold your hand first. Lanque reaches out and takes your fingers gently in his. You don't know what it is, but you can't help from blushing shyly. His hand is soft and warm in yours, his short red nails immaculately manicured. Then let me begin. This is a short poem I've written in free verse, based on something haunting me as of late, reflecting back on one of my most complicated and passionate past relationships. Forgive me, this might be a bit raw. It is as yet entitled. There's something specifically about this route, and the culty thing, it's not actually that so much, that's really nagging at the back of my mind. Like, it feels almost like a parody of the politeness people try to bring out, which feels kind of fucked up. But I don't know if that's me being oversensitive, or if that is the game's intent. Like, I don't know. Lanque draws in a deep breath and closes his eyes. His notebook is open in his lap. You can see the poem written there in an elegant hand, but he doesn't need to look at it to recite the words. What is the meaning of a memory? A question I oft ponder. Intangible and untraceable by anything but the mind, yet so potent as to leave one sick, as if poisoned or wounded in a literal sense. And what meaning is there in regret and longing? Can my lamentations change the past? Will they move the future? Shall they amount to much more than what enmores my here and now? If I restrict my world to that which is before my eyes, to those whom may I touch? To those whom I may touch, to that which I might alter, one would no doubt conclude that thoughts of you are last among what I would consider to matter, and yet you still haunt me, like a scar, like a disease uneager to abate. Who are you, and who am I after so long without you? I know, I don't know, I won't know. What do I know but what I know, and what can it even mean to know? No, no, no. Ah, though it vexes me, though so little I valued it when it was before me, a thing and a you I could touch and see and know, and hate and wonder, revile, worship. Now, it and you are a traceless ghost, and I preoccupy myself with nothing but futile tasks of redefinition and reinterpretation, and circuitous dwellings of that which I understand even less now than in the times when my wonderings might have been so easily answered, with a question or a bite or a kiss, or even a single word spoken honestly. Pressed though I am to give color to our bond, I look not to onyx nor ash, but that which pulses within our very veins, that so blinding jade, hard as the stone for which it is so named, twisted and pulled, hammered and forged, shaped unnaturally as if a chain, a stricture within scriptures, a certain so meaningful tincture. Resent you though I must, envy you though I may, now leagues and leagues stretch between us, and I make peace with not but what I say. You are only that which is within me, my blood and my mind, and that is at once nothing and the most elementary definition of everything. Woof. Fuck. That was... I don't know. I mean, it was pretty in its own right, but it also felt vaguely pretentious. Then again, I am an uncultured boor, so... You realize you were holding your breath when Lanque finally finishes. The circle falls into meaningless silence. Meaningful silence, taut as a wire. The tension breaks when his eyes flutter open, tears spilling over his long lashes. You squeeze Lanque's hand gently. He weeps silently and beautifully. Such powerful art. He musters a wan smile as he gazes across the circle at Lanque. Lanque, would you like to read next? Lanque looks stunned. There's moisture gathering in the corner of her eyes. Of course, anyone would be moved by something so emotional and raw. I guess I have a poem I could read. Lanque takes out her planner and opens it, breaking the circle of held hands. She can't recite it from memory like Lanque. When she speaks, her voice is small and timid. This one's called Still. I'm still. I sit still. I do what I'm told. Still. I wonder about the way that I am and I think still. I see her every day and I still miss her. She hugs me and I still feel cold. I'm surrounded by people and I'm still alone. I'm still me. I still love her and I hate that. Oh, honey. Wow, you're really proud of Lanque for opening up like this. She's crying now, too. You reach out to take her hand back in yours. The indigo blood beside her comfortingly strokes her shoulder. Sorry, it's not really good and long like yours, Lanque. I'm not really a poet or anything. I just wrote down how I feel. Lanque, it's fine. I thought it was beautiful. Poetry is about expressing yourself. It's not important that it be any set length or sound any certain way. All that matters is you've spoken your blood pusher, and I think you've accomplished that remarkably. We're all very proud of you. You find yourself drawn into a group hug by Lanque and the other trolls. Lanque is sobbing openly now, and her raw emotion seems to have inspired similar pathos in the others. Before you know it, you find yourself tearing up too. It feels good to get it all out, but before long it's becoming clear that Lanque is kind of reaching her limit. She pulls back and sniffles something about wanting to go home. Of course, Lanque, if that's what you need. I'll talk to you back at the cloister. Okay. See to it that you get back safe, will you? You tell Lanque that of course you will, and take Lanque carefully by the hand to lead her out of the party. She squeezes your fingers back to let you know she appreciates you. You walk back from the party in a comfortable silence for a while. When you glance over at her face, it occurs to you that you've never seen Lanque this happy. Of course, this is literally the second time you've seen her, so you guess you don't actually have much of a frame of reference for what her normal emotional state actually is. You really want to encourage her on this path of recovery that she's going down, and also you ask about, her and Lanque. What? Her and Lanque? What? We're just friends. I mean, it's not like I have a crush on him or anything. I know I've had romantic feelings for a girl before, so it'd be really problematic if I liked a boy now. That bugs me too. It's okay, just don't let it happen again. Lanque gives a warm smile and reaches out to pull you into a hug. Thank you for helping me. I was really nervous, and I think if it hadn't been for your help, I wouldn't have been able to come at all. But I did, so thanks. It wasn't perfect, but I think I really opened up tonight. I'll see Lanque again, and you, I hope, and in the future, things will be easier, right? You're certain they will. You put a comforting arm around her shoulders and walk her the rest of the way home. You feel this like this night has taught you a really important lesson. Not everything is about collecting the largest quantity of friends as is humanly possible. Sometimes strengthening your bond with someone you already know can be just as rewarding. So screw you, you say, to the concept of good endings and bad endings and narrative railroading. This makes you feel heckin' valid, and that's fine by you. Okay, so we're back, and at the end of that last route, I ended up following through on a prompt that took me to the entire game's epilogue. Now, I'm saving that for the end of the final episode of this series, but, yeah. It both confirmed and confused me, and it also made me want to punch a certain someone right in his fucking smug, round face. Anyways, with that said, let's, yeah. Make sure I saved, okay. And, let's go ahead and get into this fucking suspicious, weird shit. Let me in. That's good to hear. Why don't you come right in then, my dear? I don't want to see you making any little posts online about how my party was too fucking problematic for you, though. Oh, buddy. This gonna piss me off. This gonna piss me off a lot. Ardata steps back and welcomes you in again into her abode with a grandiose gesture. You're very, very excited for Ardata's party, and you know definitively that you will enjoy absolutely every second of what she has in store for you. Once you've stepped in past the threshold, Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiast. Wow. I'm sorry. My annoyance is making it. Once you've stepped in past the threshold, Ardata blows you a toxic kiss and saunters off to mingle with her enthusiastic guests. Yep, see, that's more what I was expecting. With the whole party thing. Oh, hey, what's up, Damon? Yeah, so this may be the first time the world changed so dramatically based on one of my choices. The first thing that hits you once you're in the door is the music. It's a solid wall of bass that reverberates through your body down to the bones. I love that feeling. The intense dance track is blasting so loud you can hardly hear yourself think. It has to be this loud to drown out all the shouting coming from the living room. As you apprehensively advance, it becomes quickly clear that Lanque is completely out of her element here. She's a bundle of nerves beside you, practically glued to your hip. When you actually step into the living room, she physically attaches herself to your arm. Wow, this is more than I was expecting. You too. It's a scene of absolute chaos. The living room of the house is filled to the brim with rowdy teens, dancing rhythmlessly to the pounding music. The furniture has all been knocked over or otherwise destroyed, and you can make a pretty good guess of what's filling all the red cups you see in everyone's hands. You're about to tell Lanque that you wouldn't blame her if she wants to dip, but you can't get the words out before you're being flagged down by a jade-blooded boy who's just muscled his way out of the throng of partygoers with a few of his friends in tow. Yep, that's more what I expected. You wannabe vampire motherfucker. Lanque, you made it. Lanque all but flings herself away from your body and freezes like a scared animal as the troll approaches. For all the commotion and ruckus, he's still remarkably well put together. The vigorous dance huddle doesn't seem to have disturbed his sharp makeup or his impeccably coiffed hair. There's a curious red stain down the front of his white shirt, though. He has a slutty-looking indigo-blooded girl on his right arm, and an even sluttier-looking teal-blooded boy on his left, though he shakes them off and waves them away by the time he reaches you and Lanque at the entryway to the room. Hi, Lanque. Yeah, I'm here. When did I start playing Bloodlines? What the fuck? Hold on. Sorry again, I keep getting interrupted. You watch with amusement as Lanque practically bursts into flame under his gaze, and it only gets worse when he sidles up to give her a startlingly intimate embrace. She squeaks and tries to hug him back, but is too timid to actually touch him with her hands. You can see the sweat pouring down her face. I don't know if that's funny. After a solid 5 seconds that seems to include Lanque smelling Lanque's hair, he pulls back to smile down at Lanque with a heavy gaze. Lanque's face is bright green and her eyes are bugging out of her skull from how flustered she is. But she's not not into it, you don't think? It's hard to tell, but you'd kind of get the impression he'd be dead by now if she weren't. Either way, it's awkward. Luckily for Nara, Lanque either doesn't notice or doesn't care. He settles into the comfortable, for him, posture with his arm casually around Lanera's waist and turns to you. Oh, who's this? This is my... friend? Yeah. Lanque quirks an eyebrow. You have friends? You're a bitch! The question seems to leave Lanera speechless, so Lanque takes the opportunity to look back at you. His eyes rake up and down your body in a way that leaves you feeling distinctly objectified. Oh, aren't you interesting? Is there a reason you look like that? What a question. He doesn't explain what that is specifically referring to, and given both your alien status and your state of dress, it could mean any number of things. You might take it as an insult, if not for the way he licks his lips after he says it. He can't seem to pry his eyes off you. You look to Lanera for any sort of cue, but she's too out of it to give you any sort of intelligible sign. See, intellectually, I know that this guy is a sleazebag. I mean, look at the way he's behaving. However, it would totally fucking work on me in person because I'm a trash can. So you just explain how you crash landed on this alien planet an indeterminate amount of time ago, and you really don't know what you're doing or much about anything of anything. The fact of your appearance could be due to either to this, or you're generally a disaster of being irrespective of your planetary origin. Yeah. How fascinating. I've never met an alien before. Well, you have. Lots of times. In fact, literally everyone and everything here is an alien to you. You find your word diarrhea becoming more and more awkward and embarrassing as Lanque's eyes start burning a hole in the center of your chest. There's no need to be shy. I don't bite until asked. Lanque disconnects himself from Lanera as he rounds on you. It's like he's lost any interest in her existence now that you're in front of him. Lanera looks at you with a completely pathetic expression that readily informs you as to what your response needs to be. You'll be damned if you aren't going to be the best wingman possible, so you definitely ignore Lanque's blatant pass and turn the conversation back to Lanera. You ask Lanque how long he and Lanera have known each other. Lanque raises his eyebrows at the question. Well, I suppose since she was chosen for the cloister, some number of sweeps ago. I don't remember, really. It was 2.43 sweeps. Oh, right. Then that many, I guess. Huh. That's a pretty long time, actually. Huh, yeah. Pretty impressive that you managed to go a solid 2.4 of them without saying a single word to me. That wasn't circulated to me secondhand from your snide gossiping behind my back. Oh, wow. Talk about whiplash. Leonard's eyes get big like saucers. Well, what? What? What are you... I don't know what you're talking about. The tone of the conversation has totally morphed from fire to ice in an instant, though neither Lanque's expression nor demeanor have changed much. He slips in the knives with all the calm composure of a casual statement. What, are you going to pretend you didn't spend the better part of 2.5 sweeps? Complaining about how much I disgusted you? Come now, you do know that everyone is aware you're a nasty little bitch, right, Lanera? I mean, don't take it the wrong way. I really don't mind. I'm hardly in a position to criticize. I was just curious what caused a sudden change in heart after so long decrying my vain and slatternly lifestyle. Have the impending ordeals finally made the little clock start to tick down in that dry, dusty nook of yours? Did you figure I was the only one who might be loose enough to be willing to clean out the cobwebs before you get shipped off to Space Church and never have the chance again? Just wondering.
Fucking... You know, Toreador. I gotta say Toreador or Ventru. Either way, you're a fucking ass.
There's a long, excruciating moment when Lanera says nothing. She just stares up at Lanque beside her with a completely shell-shocked expression. But before you can try and pipe up in Lanera's defense, she bursts into tears. Oh no. When Lanera suddenly turns and makes a mad dash to run out the door and away from the party, you're torn between running after her and giving this jerk a real piece of your mind. Your mind's wet up and you look back at Lanque, just in time to catch him rolling your eyes. Hey, you say, that was kind of rude, don't you think? Lanque snorts. Me? Rude? Are you perhaps attempting to fuck with me? Clearly you haven't spent much time around this bitter pill if you think that was anything short of precisely what she deserves. You concede maybe you don't have enough grasp on Jadeblood Cloister social dynamics to make a definitive judgment on whether or not Lanera deserved to have been so ruinously owned. But she's your friend, and what good are you if you don't stick up for the people you care about? I have no idea what even got her so upset. Like I said, it's not like I really care what she says about me, but you don't get to spend as much time as she does being such a venomous little snake and act surprised when someone calls you out on it. Then why did you invite her, you ask? It seems unneedlessly cruel of Lanque to lead her on under false pretenses if he never intended to be her friend after all. I promise you I had no such designs. The only reason I even invited her to this thing is that my ex is being a real blood-sucking bitch, and no one else wanted to go. I was willing to give her an honest shot, but I have no time for a vicious, slandering nag who can't even admit what she is. I thought it might be interesting to see what the crusty little shrew might be like if you could manage to wrest her bulge free of whatever excruciating knot she got it tied into, but I guess now we'll never know. Well, this is clearly a conversation you're going to have to Switzerland out of pretty soon. Yeah, no, I don't like him. Like, I don't like him. He's just fucking nasty. Shit. Like, sure, Lanque definitely has issues. Like, I'm not arguing that. I mean, she did almost murder me. But, like, elaborately designing a setup in front of somebody that could fucking destroy her self-esteem for the sheer sake of, what? Being curious about how good a fuck she is? Like, no. What? You try to explain the political history... fuck, here we go. You try to explain the historical significance of Switzerland's political neutrality on your home planet. Lanque's eyes glaze over like he's listening to you recite a sports almanac of cricket stats. That's nice. Anyway, since I seem to have scared away my date, why don't you stay a while so you and I can get to know each other a little better? You seem much more interesting than she is anyway. Okay, Edward, calm the fuck down. When did Lanque get up so close to you? Your heart beats a little faster when he smiles at you like that, so poisonous and shamelessly laced with intent. Lanque is definitely not the only one coming off like a snake here. I have less time to waste than most, my dear. Never seen the value in beating around the bush. Also, is it just me or did he get more anime? Well, maybe it'd be socially prudent for you to go after Lanque and make sure she's okay, but it's also not her volume of the Friendsim, so instead of doing that, you're going to stick around to see what the spectacularly briary prima donna is all about. Yeah, no. Honestly, if I didn't, like, want to record every single path for this fucking video, I would be done. I would be done and out of here, because I fucking hate this dude. That's not true. I don't hate him. Clearly, he's got his own issues that he needs to work through, and I'm sure if he did, he could figure some stuff out and get some solutions, but his method of going about his issues are so fucking cruel. You had your fucking chance to bail out of the shit show, but all that's left now is to barrel downhill as meteorically as you can manage. Fantastic. Care to dance? Why the fuck not? Lanque laughs pleasantly and reaches out to take you by the hand. The contact gives you a little thrill despite yourself. He's got nice hands, soft and warm and well taken care of, and you know it's going to be one hell of a ride wherever he's taking you. Come with me. You do. He doesn't lead you straight to the dance floor, though. He takes you around the throng of dancing partygoers over to the kitchen of the house first. You weren't expecting to find a familiar face waiting for you there. Fancy meeting you here. You don't find it that surprising, honestly. You two know each other? You could say that. That's just great. Do you give discounts to friends? I sure fucking don't. You know the price, pretty boy. Pay up. Yeah, no, this very much demonstrates the difference in the art style here. You're a little confused. What is being purchased here exactly? Elward gives you a funny look. You a drone? What? Hush. You do as you're told and watch as Lanque and Elward carry out their shady transaction. Lanque hands over the credits and receives an opaque baggie of something in return. Well, you guess you don't really need to see what this thing is. The point... fuck. You guess you don't really need to see what's in the thing to figure out what it is at this point. My dad just came in and gave me a berry. As soon as the deal is done, Lanque has his hand at the small of your back and is deftly guiding you away from the scene of a crime. Is buying drugs a crime here? You aren't really well versed about the laws of Alternia, but it honestly doesn't seem like anybody would give much of a shit about anybody doing drugs out here. You guess the clandestine transactions are just for the aesthetic. Lanque's got you back in a shady corner of the party and is pressing one of the tablets he bought into your hand with a grin. He expects you to join in. You're like, hold on a minute. Your experiences with alien drugs haven't been that great, honestly, and you're not sure you're that excited for Pete performing. Lanque's immediate response is to sneer. Oh, I see. You're one of those people. One of what people? You know, a bit boring, maybe? There are many words that could be used to describe you, but don't think boring is a real contender. You're always doing all kinds of unbelievably stupid shit and getting into unaccountably wacky and life-threatening situations. And, you know, dying a few times. Is it really that fucking much to ask for that there be one time you don't edge headfirst into doing something you know is going to fuck you up and be totally awful? Lanque's lips pressed into a thin, annoyed line. These things aren't cheap, you know. I bought them for you. Well, you didn't ask him to do that, did you? Oh, come on. You're really going to be like this? Yeah, you totally are. Lanque sighs dramatically. Fine. Oh no. Oh no. Lanque casts around for the nearest victim and grabs his attention with a hand around his wrist. To your dismay, it's your sweet and innocent hot dog chum, Demon. Alas, there's nothing you can do to stop him from falling prey to Lanque's wicked designs. Here, have these.
Oh yeah, great. Thanks. I love to put drugs on my wiener.
What a tragedy. Before you know it, Lanque has a hold of you again and is dragging you off. Let's just dance. You're not too much of a square to do that, are you? Of course not. Dancing is basically the one thing you actually plan to come here and do, so that's just great. You go along with Lanque enthusiastically when he pulls you over to a writhing mass of bodies bumping and grinding on the dance floor. You get down to it. You soon discover that Lanque has a very interesting dancing style. And by interesting, you mean it primarily consists of directly grinding his body against yours in an incredibly shameless fashion. But pressed in as you are from all sides by sweaty and inebriated bodies, there's not exactly much room for troll gigas to begin with. Lanque is up on you so close it's hard not to sweat. He has his hands at your hips and your face fixed with sharp eyes. His heavy stare is nearly hypnotic, so blatant and undisguised in its expression. It's clear what he wants, and maybe that's more than you're prepared to give, but when he looks at you like that, it's impossible to look away. You just go with it. Why not? It feels good, and it's not like anyone else is watching. You're surrounded by trolls, boxed in and pouring sweat, and yet it feels like you're the only two people there. Lanque draws in, teeth by your ear, and this close you can hear him easily even over the overwhelming pound of the bass. You have the palest skin I've ever seen. Yeah, you tell him you're literally FFFFF white, which is like blank. That makes you super racially inoffensive, FYI. You let Lanque know he can see you any way he wants, which is even more woke than making a decision. Guys! Thin as paper. I can see all the way inside you. All your veins and red blood. You smell like candy. I wonder how you'd taste. Wow, they say. That's some shit a vampire would say. Presuming I'm a rainbow drinker would be awfully reductive and a literal reading of my character. I'm just making a blatant sexual pass. Oh, okay. Good thing that's all cleared up. You take this as an opportunity to really let loose, showing off everything you've got in the sexy dance acumen department. Lanque is a little bewildered. What are you doing? You're like, what aren't I doing? There's a fire on the dance floor and you just struck the match. You're just fucking it up in here. Really getting it. Breaking it down. Bopping and crumping whatever. You're smashing your ass into everyone around you and getting hot and heavy with those lusty moves. Oh, I am so uncomfortable. There's a point where Lanque has to step back. You presume to probably behold your art in all your glory. But it soon becomes clear that it's not your prodigious dancing skills that have given him pause. You follow his startled gaze and see the cause for alarm. Baronia is here and she looks pissed. Yes! Oh shit. Baronia is still standing in the entryway contending with her daughter, and it looks like she hasn't caught any sight of you yet, but Lanque isn't wasting any time. Before you realize what's happening, Lanque has you by the wrist and is hauling you from the dance floor and off down the hallway. Lanque finds safety in a bedroom, respite block you remind yourself, when you take stock of the conspicuous absence of any bed and the presence of the revolting-looking slime cocoon in which the trolls allegedly spend their repose. You hold each other in a tense and nervous silence, pressed against the locked door. What feels like an eternity passes, your breath held. The sound of your blood rushing through your ears is almost enough to drown out the music. Seconds turn to minutes, and nobody comes to find you. It seems, for now, you've escaped Bronia's notice. When you turn your head to look back at Lanque, you find he's been staring at you for some time. I haven't been able to take my eyes off you since the moment I first saw you. You're just so interesting. You freeze like a hare staring down a snake. Lanque lifts his hand to brush a thumb across your cheek, fingers curling under your chin. You meet his eyes. His pupils are so black. I want to know what it'd be like to kiss you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Lanque's tongue darts out to wet his painted lips. Do you want to kiss me? Whoa. Well, you've already clicked on at least 2 mature content disclaimers to get this far. Why the hell not? Lanque leans in and presses his lips against yours. Oh boy. He kisses much more sweetly than he looks. His lips are soft and wet and taste like blackberries. This beats making out with a couple of greasy teens behind a dumpster, that's for sure. When one of his sharp fangs nicks your bottom lip, you don't even care. But when a drop of your blood beats out onto his invasive tongue, Lanque draws back just an inch. You taste sharp and dangerous, like a weapon. Is that a good thing? It's not a bad thing. Lanque pulls back further. His hand slips from your cheek and his fingers trail down your neck to rest on your collar, thumb brushing against the thumb of your pulse. Have you ever paled before? Lanque shrugs off his jacket and starts unbuttoning his shirt. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this really gonna go there? You're like, well, no. You've never done any alien intercourse with a bucket, but doesn't look like he even has one on him at the moment. That was apparently the wrong thing to say because Lanque's face stretches up in displeasure. Don't mock me. It's my first time. You figure laughing would construe mocking him, so you don't, but the look you give him seems to say enough. Us jades who live in the cloisters have been chosen for a very special duty. We're expected to adopt a chaste and ascetic life in service to the continuation of our species. And when we undergo our ordeals and are sent off-world, there's no such thing as sneaking out of the caverns. If I don't do this now, when? My life is nearly over. Will you help me feel alive? But, before you can answer, Bronia's voice starts to rise shrill above the heavy music. Lanque! Lanque's hands shoot out lightning speed to draw you close. Before you can so much as gasp, he presses one of his palms over your mouth to keep quiet. Ah, shit, she's close. And from the sound of it, getting closer. Lanque! I know you're here! You need to come out and come home right now! Lanque leans in close to your ear. Shh. What will you do? Right. We're back. I'm sorry. I need to just take a minute because this is gonna be weird. Real weird for me. I don't know how bad it's gonna get, considering I had to do 2 mature content warnings to get to this point, as the game mentioned. It might get real awkward. Either way, it's gonna be rough, and I know there's at least one person watching these videos who is taking agonizing pleasure in my extreme discomfort, so, I'm on to you. Anyways, I can all but guarantee this is the good route. So, keep quiet. You want to see where this goes. You keep your mouth shut and wait for Bronia to pass. She only shouts for a little while longer before the sounds of her voice fades away. There are too many blocks in this hive for her to be trying to break down the door to every one, and she didn't look too closely at this one. You've lost her. When it becomes clear Bronia is gone for good, Lanque lets his hand fall away from your lips. You feel him smile against your ear. Where were we? You turn in Lanque's arms and look up into his blazing eyes. How can you alien pale without a bucket? I don't mind doing it without one. Sometimes it can be fun to get a little messy, don't you think? You're like, weren't you just saying this was your first time? Lanque answers you with another kiss. And this time he means business. Wow! Alright! I'm sorry. Really? Fucking Dorito face and everything? Really? Alright. I have to admit, that is a pretty good way to do a boot scene. Never mind, I was wrong. Nowhere near as awkward as I expected. Fucking hilarious, though. You go all the way with this super slutty alien, and then you slump out on the ground, completely wasted. Maybe this all went kind of off the rails, but you have to admit it would have been a real shame if you got through this entire extraterrestrial adventure and never got to smash even a single alien. What would be the fucking point, honestly? This guy really did a number on you. You're lying spreading along the floor, and Lanque is putting his clothes back on. Man, this is probably your most accomplished friendship to date. You're not quite ready to move just yet, but since now you and Lanque are such good chums, you figure now's as good a time as any to ask for a chitter. Yeah, no, this is setting up way too hard. This is the bad ending. Look at his expression. Lanque seems surprised to even hear you speak. Huh? You want to add me on chitter? Yeah, you say, isn't that what friends do? Oh, sorry, I can't. My palm husk is broken right now. Lanque says while typing away furiously on his palm husk. He doesn't even look down at you. You're like, but you're using it right now? Lanque rolls his eyes. I thought you would take the obvious hint. What obvious hint? Lanque huffs. Look, I was trying to be nice, but you just weren't that good, babe. I don't often ring the same bell twice, but if I were going to consider it, you'd have to show me a better performance than that. Woof! Whoa! Holy shit! That's that, you guess. Your lowest low. Your first time banging an alien and you couldn't even satisfy him. A little seed of worthlessness takes root inside of you and germinates so explosively that it fills you up until there's basically nothing left. You die of shame instantly. Yep, there's that for you. Alright then. Let's watch him get his ass fucking scolded. Calling his mom. This has gotten problematic enough. You rip Lanque's hand off your mouth and start yelling for Bronia. What the fuck, dude? Ooh, I forgot about those. Neat! Lanque tries to scramble away from you, but you make some sort of last-ditch effort to escape, but it's no use. Bronia hears you and comes running, furious. She hulks the locked door off its hinges before you can even get up to let her in. You duck flying chunks of alien architecture and scuttle off to avoid what you fear might be further alien fists. Yes! Kick his ass! Lanque! As angry as her voice is, some of that fear goes out of her face the moment her gaze lands on Lanque's state of partial undress. She reflexively brings a hand up to shield her eyes. What in the world? Put your clothes back on right this instant, young man. Lanque freezes where he stands, apparently accepting that he's been caught. There's nowhere left to run if he doesn't intend to fling himself out of a window. A sneer uncoils on his face. Oh, please, save the Purity Act. Like this is anything you haven't already seen a dozen times before. Bronia's face goes bright jade. What? What in the world are you implying? I would never... Forget it, Lanera. You've always been the craziest bitch in the whole cloister. You know you aren't actually our Lucis, right? Bronia marches right up to Lanque and slaps him hard across the face. Lanque makes an undignified noise as he recoils from the blow. Looks like that really hurt. His face is stinging bright red under the handprint. He forces out a strained laugh. My word, Bronia. If you wanted to join us, all you had to do was ask. Damn. You wish you had some popcorn right about now. You just kind of want to sit it back and I'll take it all in. Lanque's invective had its apparent desired effect. Bronia is all but steaming at this point, hands balled into fists at her side. You kind of want to say hi to your friend, but she's a little preoccupied, it seems. I am not going to rise to your petty baiting. You know you're in the wrong here. 1. We've spoken time and time again about how recklessly sneaking out to these parties, and now you're dragging Lanera into your mess? 2. Lanera has told me all about the things you've been saying and doing to her, and it is completely unacceptable, Lanque. 3. You've had more than enough lectures about the way you treat your Flesh Quadrant partners, and it absolutely needs to stop. You are coming back to me with the to the cloisters right now. When we're done, we're going to have one last serious talk about this, and if there aren't changes, there are going to be consequences. Eventually, Bronia's overbearing hollering seems to break Lanque down. He sighs, shoulders slumped, and rolls his eyes. Fine, fine. Bronia crosses her arms indignantly as she waits for Lanque to finish fixing his clothes. Lanque buttons his shirt, puts back on his jacket and his tie, and then he has to go retrieve his palm husk, which seems to have discreetly slid over to where you're standing. He casually saunters his way over and instead of picking up his own device, snatches yours out of his hand. Hey, I've got to go, but let me give you my chitter information. Maybe we can pick up where we left off later, sweetheart. Bronia stomps over to grab Lanque by the ear and drag him away, but not before he finished putting his chitter contact into your palm husk. He shoves it back into your hand, mouths you a see you later, and then is fully hauled out of the room. Hypocrite. You need to shut your mouth. And then they're gone. Friendship accomplished, I guess? Hey! Nope, because we did this already, and this is going to be saved for the end of the next episode. By the way, yep, there's that if you say no. Sad face. Anyways, that's it for this episode. If you like the video, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to buy me a coffee, the link is down below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And, one more to go. One more episode. So, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Later, y'all.